Let's begin in Stockton. The man arrested in connection with the 6 murders faced a judge for the first time today.
Wesley Brownlee is charged with 3 counts of murder right now, but prosecutors do say he is connected to the other 3 homicides. Prosecutors also spoke after the court appearance and detailed more on how they were able to make the arrest.
In Monterey County, 2 separate juries delivered their verdicts in the Kristen Smart murder case. Paul Flores has been found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of the California college freshman Kristen Smart 25 years ago. His sentencing is set to take place in December. And then a separate jury acquitted Paul Flores' father, Ruben, of being an accessory to murder after the fact. Ruben Flores answered questions after he walked out of the courthouse a free man.
It was about feelings. It wasn't about facts. It was mostly about feelings, and I think that's what happened with my son.
A news conference from the prosecution in the case is expected to start at any moment. We'll take that live as soon as it begins.
And a man has died after being shot by 2 Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies. The shooting happened near 41st Street and 14th Avenue around 11:30 this morning. Deputies were responding to a domestic violence call. The deputies say they shot the man after he came out of a home with a shotgun while holding his girlfriend and using her as a shield. Right now, we have to go back to Stockton, though, and the first court appearance for the man accused in the series of killings there.
Wesley Brownlee is facing murder charges in the killings of 3 people: Jonathan Hernandez, Juan Carranza Cruz, and Lawrence Lopez. He isn't facing charges at this time for the other murders, but that could change. We have team coverage on this court hearing, including the reaction from victims' families and a survivor.
But first, we start with KCRA 3's Brittany Hope. And Brittany, what did we learn from prosecutors today?
We learned a lot more about who Wesley Brownlee is. We learned for the very first time today that he is a truck driver. Officials say he lived mainly in the Bay Area, but had just recently moved to Stockton. We want to show you the first video of Brownlee walking into the courtroom today. Right now, he is facing 3 murder charges in connection to the murders of Jonathan Rodriguez Hernandez, Juan Carlos Carranza Cruz, and Lawrence Lopez. He's also charged for being a felon in possession with a firearm and for having ammunition, too. There are 3 other homicides and an attempted homicide that the district attorney's office says they're still working to charge him with, but those have not been filed as of today. We did ask the district attorney if hate crimes are now involved in the investigation, if targeting Hispanic men or people experiencing homelessness could have been his motive.
We're looking into that. That's still part of the ongoing investigation, and that there is a potential there could be additional charges in that arena as well. So we're developing that evidence.
The defendant was apprehended by the Stockton Police Department and was found to have a firearm. That firearm is commonly known as a ghost gun.
Officials also said in court for the first time today a ghost gun was used in the 3 homicides that Brownlee is currently charged in. We asked the police chief if he thinks Brownlee could have been linked to other shootings in the city, too.
Well, we're going to stay tenacious. We don't know how many cases there are. That's why we still have our tip lines. That's why we're still partnering with our neighboring agencies. That's why we still have this incredible all-star team of a task force, just so we can overturn every stone and see what we have out there.
Yeah, so really we're learning that this investigation is still in its early stages. As what comes next for Brownlee, we know he's going to be held without bail because the judge and prosecutors believe that he is too much of a violent risk to the community. Looking forward to his sentencing. Of course, that's a long time down the road. Right now, he's facing a minimum of life in prison and a maximum of death. We're live in Stockton. Brittany Hope, KCRA 3 News.
And Brittany, we know that Brownlee did speak in court today. What did he have to say?
So he didn't really say much. He was very quiet. He said that he understood the charges against him, and he did say that he wanted an attorney. I did try to speak with some of his family members and loved ones who were here during the hearing, and at this point they said they do not want to speak with media. Ty?
All right, Brittany Hope live for us outside the courtroom. Thank you. After the suspect appeared in court, we heard from several family members whose loved ones were killed.
KCRA 3's Maricela de la Cruz continues our team coverage, joins us live from Stockton. So Maricela, you spoke with some of those families. What did they have to say?
Yeah, well, it was very emotional. Several families showed up today, and most of them didn't want to speak on camera, but we did speak to the family of Lorenzo Lopez. His brother, Jerry Lopez, and his mother, Pauline Lopez, were out here, and again, it was emotional. At one point, his brother, Jerry, did cry a little bit, and from what we know was that Lorenzo Lopez, that murder was connected to this investigation. He was killed on August 27th, and the Lopez family, they were in the courtroom during the hearing this afternoon. They were listening to the charges against Brownlee, and they thanked the Stockton Police Department and the entire community for the arrest that came over the weekend. His brother Jerry told us that he couldn't even make eye contact with Brownlee during the hearing, and he also took some time to talk about the work that needs to be done here in Stockton to try to reduce the crime. Let's go ahead and listen to them.
Really have a heart of gold.
Thank you, Stockton Police Department. Thank all the community. The homeless community even stepped up, and I was really glad to see that they came through and they were trying to do what they could do to help out my brother and all the other victims that were involved in this.
And we also heard from Natasha, the only survivor known in this investigation, and we'll go ahead and hear more from her at 5 o'clock today. Live in Stockton, Maricela de la Cruz, KCRA 3 News.
All right, Maricela, thank you. Stockton police say just because the arrest was made in the string of serial killings does not mean the investigation is over. As you heard them mention, they're encouraging people to still submit tips through the department's tip line. That number is on your screen. It's area code 209-937-8167. You can also email them information at policetips@stocktonca.gov.